If you're curious about past life regression but nervous to try it, you're in the right place. Today, I'm going to share exactly what it is, what actually happens in a session, the different types you can try, who it helps, how to integrate your experience afterward, how to find the right practitioner, and the answers to the biggest frequently asked questions, straight from my own experiences and what I've learned along the way. I'm Brandy Fleck. I am host of the Human Amplified podcast and this channel. I'm a Reiki practitioner. I'm a certified trauma-informed coach, and I manage a holistic wellness center in the Middle Tennessee area. I've personally had multiple past life regressions, loved them, and even brought hypnotherapy in as a modality at the wellness center that I work at. And I'm here to share what I've learned, what it is, how sessions work, and how this kind of work can support your healing. I love to share spiritual, metaphysical, and esoteric information, and also lots of information about society and culture, relationships, health and wellness, and the like. So there are a ton of resources on this channel. Be sure to browse around if you haven't already. And now, let's dive in. So before I finally scheduled my first past life regression session, I had wanted to do it for years. They can be expensive, and I was extremely nervous, so I kept putting it off. What finally tipped me over the edge was a licensed hypnotherapist friend who felt so strongly that I needed one. She offered to give me a session for free. And I thought, okay, no excuses. That was so generous of her. There was no way I could turn it down. And because these sessions are long and require a lot of energy and focus from the practitioner, I offered a trade so the energetic exchange felt balanced. And then we got started. So if you're feeling that mix of curiosity and nerves, totally normal. Honestly, just being here with me today is your first step. If you feel compelled, I highly recommend moving forward. You're curious for a reason. Listen to that guidance. So what is past life regression? It's a form of hypnotherapy focused on showing you different lives you can learn from in order to change your current life, especially around things like recurring issues, setbacks, stagnation, or self-sabotage tendencies, things like that. Some people argue that a past life is really a parallel life because time is not linear. I tend to agree. A soul can incarnate in this modern life and also into an ancient civilization, even on a different planet or in a different galaxy, and all of those lives are connected by your soul. From any current life, you can call on knowledge from the others. For simplicity, I'll say past and current life. Your current life is the incarnation you're in right now. A regression takes you from the vantage point of this life into the experiences, feelings, sensations, and lessons from other incarnations, so you can bring back insight that helps you now. What happens during a past life regression? A hypnotherapist or skilled practitioner induces you into a trance, guides you through the experience with questions and suggestions, helps you find the information that will serve you best, and then brings you back to your waking state once you've gotten what you need. The induction is the part where you're guided into trance. Inductions vary by practitioner. Some use counting down, some use a focal point that moves you to where you need to be. Everyone has their own secret sauce. The goal is simply to help you enter a hypnotic, relaxed state. Once you get there, that's considered trance. Trance is an altered state of consciousness, almost like a daydream or a meditative state. According to my friend and guest on the Human Amplified podcast, medical doctor Megan Galaski says when you're in trance, your brain produces theta waves and you'll be at your most aligned and relaxed. This is the bulk of the session. And according to hypnotherapist Piper Neiman, who also appeared on the Human Amplified podcast, you're in complete control when you're in trance. She says, all we're doing in trance is quieting the critical mind. We're having the conversation with the unconscious mind and asking for its assistance. During this part, the practitioner asks questions and offers gentle direction to help you access the scenes, sensations, and insights that will best serve the things you want clarity on in your current life. Then once you've gathered enough information, the hypnotherapist guides you back out of trance. It's similar to the induction process, but you're transported back to this reality. You might feel a little spacey at first, and that's totally normal. Take your time waking up, wiggle your fingers and toes, breathe, and let yourself become fully present again. So that's the process, but now let's talk about the different types of past life regressions, starting with the spiritual, fun, and curiosity-driven type. There's also the therapeutic or clinical experience, there's group events, and plant medicine-induced experiences, like I think I mentioned earlier. So if you're newer to metaphysical topics or just feel curious, the spiritual and fun type of past life regression that you usually find in metaphysical shops performed by psychics can be a fun, cool entry point, okay? It can feel very mystical and exploratory, like, who am I? Why do I do what I do? If that's you, you need to be careful though. Choose a reputable practitioner who knows how to hold safe space and who knows how to safely keep guardrails up in case you start to have a bad experience. I don't think this is too likely, but sometimes psychics don't always have to be certified hypnotherapists, and so you'll just want to look into their qualifications and see if you trust them and their work, okay? But these can be really fun, even if they carry a lot of risk, and they can also perhaps combine other metaphysical services with these types of past life regressions. You'll just have to check out what's available near you. These were the only types of past life regressions that were really available or that I could find as I was sort of coming of age and getting into this type of thing. And I find that hypnotherapists and this type of hypnotherapy is becoming more mainstream, even though it's an alternative type of healing modality now. So there are more options available than just psychic past life regressions, although they're still totally valid. So then the practitioners that you'll find working outside of metaphysical shops, in holistic wellness centers and out of other healing type places, they're often hypnotherapists and healers focused on trauma healing or patterns that keep you stuck. It's still metaphysical, but the focus is holistic health. These are sometimes labeled clinical and may not even say past life regression. In the service name, one practitioner I know calls it quantum healing, for example. People tend to find this route when they've tried things like therapy, life coaching, massage therapy, acupuncture, and more. Maybe those helped, but not enough. Or they just need one more modality to round out their healing mix. Then there are group events. A group past life regression is a lighter version that you do with others. The practitioner induces everyone together and uses prompts that work for the whole room. You'll get less tailored attention and the prompts are more general, but it can still be powerful. I've seen shared archetypes and themes among participants, which points to a collective consciousness we're tapping into together. Group sessions are often shorter, so you may feel less emotionally attached to what you see or experience, and you are then able to share only what you're comfortable sharing with the group to kind of talk about the themes and archetypes and find that healing together. Then there's plant medicine-induced experiences. I haven't personally done an ayahuasca ceremony, but people I know describe difficult purges followed by complete immersion into past life scenes shown by the ancient plant energy, exactly what they needed to resolve something pressing in this life. It's intense, often lifelong work to integrate, and it can also feel particularly fast because of the intensity of the medicine. If you're interested in ayahuasca or other plant medicine type healing or experiences, you might like to see the episode with Dr. Richard Grossman. It's called From Trauma to Unity, Ayahuasca Lessons on Forgiveness, Healing, and the Illusion of Separation. No matter which route you choose, integration afterward really matters. And it all comes, it all belongs, and eventually It all integrates in after every experience. Now, who can a past life regression help? Honestly, anyone who's open to it. It can be especially helpful if you feel stuck, if you're struggling to reframe something, or you have a trauma history and aren't ready to process present-day memories. A regression can present similar lessons in an alternate reality that's less personal, even though it's personal, using archetypes and symbols. So it can be a more gentler way to process lessons without recalling present life memories if you're not ready for that. Now, why you should try it. First of all, it's profoundly cathartic. If you have a block that isn't explained by your current life experiences, if you suspect repressed memories, you can talk with your hypnotherapist about whether present day work should come first, but sometimes past life work helps you become ready to process those current life events. Secondly, it offers a totally different vantage point. Perspective shifting is powerful, and what better way than to look through another life? Third, it can help heal generational patterns. Call it generational trauma or karmic loops, and if nothing else, it's fun and mind-opening. After the regression, you'll need to spend some time integrating the lessons. So integration is where everything that was brought up, whether from your subconscious or a past life scene, starts to make sense as part of who you are and how you interact in the world. Once it's in the light, it's no longer running in the background. You can transmute it and choose what you want it to mean now. So practical ways to integrate past life memories and lessons include journaling, exactly what you saw, felt, sensed, beyond what you spoke aloud in the session, because I should say some practitioners will give you a recording of the session, but so much more is going on inside your mind's eye and your body and your knowing, your being, than you actually say out loud. So journaling afterward is a great way to remember everything that happened. You'll want to do this pretty quickly after your session so you don't forget. You can reflect or meditate on what you want to carry forward so the insights become meaningful and embodied. And then use tools. Even something like ChatGPT can help you remember and process the lessons and the symbols that appeared to you while you were in hypnosis. With some processing, understanding, and action, the wisdom from a regression can become part of who you are and change your current life. So now let's talk about finding the right past life regression practitioner. Trust and safety are everything. You want someone who keeps clear guardrails, facilitates gently, and can help you ground if you become ungrounded. Listen to your intuition. If something feels off, even if you can't name it, that's valid. A board-certified hypnotherapist who's open about their experience and about how clients respond is a major green flag. Someone who has taken the time to study the intricacies of hypnotherapy and can act in a therapeutic capacity and who's transparent about their training and approach is really good. The plant medicine expert I referenced earlier, Dr. Richard Grossman, shared red flags for ayahuasca ceremony leaders that apply here too. Ask yourself, is this a person who had a single big experience and suddenly declared themselves a shaman? Or someone who has actually done the spiritual and educational work to back up what they claim? There are different levels of practitioners. That isn't automatically bad. Just know the risks and benefits going in. Bring your questions and make sure that they are a fit for your personality, your goals, your values, and your energetic and physical safety. Now, let's just go through a list of frequently asked questions, have them answered really quickly, and see if this covers your pressing questions. If your pressing question isn't answered by the time we're done with these FAQs, pop them in the comments. I would be happy to expand on anything we've talked about here today, okay? So, first question, what if I can't be hypnotized? In my experience and in the experience of the practitioners I know, everyone can be hypnotized. You might encounter what's called conscious interference, though, where your analytical mind tries to control or explain the experience while it's happening. An experienced practitioner will notice and gently guide you through that and back under if need be. If it's your first time, you might notice this more, but not always, and it gets easier with practice. Question 2. Will the hypnotherapist make me cluck like a chicken? No, unless you want them to. You have complete control. Stage hypnotherapy is what you're thinking of here, and that's totally different from clinical hypnotherapy. Third question, do you feel the experience as if you're there? No. It can be extremely immersive, but you're aware of your body in the present the whole time, even when the scenes are very visual or sensory. Next question, do you feel physical pain? No. You gain a knowing through your psychic senses, the clairs. I don't know anyone who has felt out of the ordinary physical pain. But before my first session, I did get a tension headache related to what my body knew was about to be released. But that had nothing to do with the actual hypnosis experience. And in fact, the past life regression actually helped relieve the tension headache. So that was great. And even if you're shown in the moment that you were unalived in a past scene, you won't physically feel like you're being unalived, okay? Next question, do you feel emotional pain? And the answer is you can. It depends on how deep you go and how long the session runs and how attached or close you feel to the experiences that come up. A lot of time, emotional release does happen, and this is all part of the healing process, okay? Next, how does the information come to you? Through your clairs, your psychic senses, which you have more access to in trance. Next question, do you remember everything? Typically, yes, though it varies. My memory stays clear and strong for a couple of weeks. As I mentioned earlier, some hypnotherapists share an audio recording, but a lot happens internally that isn't captured. So I recommend journaling soon after to make sure you do remember everything for much longer. Next, are you really experiencing a past life? This can be controversial. When I asked my hypnotherapist friend, Hannah Bethel, she says that she stays open to several possibilities that we might be accessing. So it could be a life your soul actually lived. It could be an experience within your ancestral lineage, generational memory passed down in the cells of the body. It could be an elaborate metaphor that your subconscious created to help you look at a block in a new way. Or if we're all one, it could be tapping into the collective and choosing an experience that resonates with what you're breaking through now. She also said that sometimes she senses that this feels very generational or it feels like a past life, but not definitively. Other times it feels constructed by imagination and there's no judgment. If it helps us break through, it's useful. Now, why choose past life work over present day hypnotherapy, which could also be called like transpersonal hypnotherapy? So present day therapeutic hypnotherapy is wonderful, and a reputable, experienced hypnotherapist can help you decide what fits your situation. In general, do present day work when you're not ready to go further back, or use it as a stepping stone into past life work. Some people respond better to one or the other. Past life work can be especially helpful if you learn symbolically or through archetypes rather than exploring known memories. And here are some final thoughts. Ultimately, I recommend that anyone who's interested and curious about past life regression go try it. It's fun, cathartic, and deep work that can support your healing journey and unlock insights that other modalities can't. There's nothing to be worried about as long as you find a reputable, experienced practitioner and have fun with it. If you decide to try it or have more questions, again, you can tell me in the comments. I'd love to hear about your experience. And if you're in the Middle Tennessee area, Nashville and surrounding areas, you can join a group past life regression if we have one on the event schedule. Check back later if we don't, because we're always adding new ones, but I'll post the link to that schedule in the description box. I'll also link there if you decide you want a personal one-on-one session with my hypnotherapist, Hannah Bethel, and she can go more in depth with you. So thanks for being here, and remember, you're curious for a reason. Listen to that guidance.